Good afternoon and welcome to today's New York City Council hearing for the Committee on Immigration. At this time, please silence all cell phones and electronic devices to minimize disruptions throughout the hearing. If you have testimony you wish to submit for the record, you may do so via email at testimony@council.nyc.gov. Once again, that is testimony@council.nyc.gov. If you wish to testify, please fill out a witness slip in the rear of the room with the Sergeant at Arms. At any time throughout the hearing, please do not approach the dais. Thank you for your cooperation.
那感谢大家来这次的会议。那今天的话呢，如果有任何的你们想要提供的证词的话呢，你都可以通过电子邮件或者找询我们后面的一位 Sergeant， 他都可以帮您做。那如果要通过电子邮件提供您的证词的话呢，就是在 testimony， 就是 testimony @council council.nyc.gov。然后呢，如果有什么电子器材，你们今天就是像手机啊，听音乐的东西的话呢，您尽快先把它调成静音。然后现在呢，除了您需要作证以外呢，请不要接近我们的前台桌子，谢谢。
Bonjour et bienvenue à l'audience du Conseil municipal à sujet de l'immigration. En ce moment, on vous demande de silencier tous vos appareils électroniques, y compris les téléphones. Si vous voulez soumettre du témoignage par écrit, vous pouvez le faire par courriel à testimony@council.nyc.gov. Si vous voulez donner du témoignage en vive voix, prière de remplir un formulaire avec le sergent qui se trouve en arrière devant la porte. Il est interdit à tout moment de s'approcher au banc des orateurs du Conseil. Merci de votre coopération.
waa kay salaamaaleykum ñu ngi leen di sant di leen gërëm yéen ñëpp ci teewaay bi ngeen fi teew ci ndaje mi ñu am ci wàllu immigration léegi nag ku ci yor téléphone ak yu ni mel ñu ngi lay ñaan nga fay ko boo fekkee da nga am benn seede booy def mun nga ko envoyer par email ci testimony@council.newyorkcity.gov. léegi nag bu fekkee da nga am lenn loo bëgg a seede loo xam ne tey la mun nga am nañ benn takk der bu nekk ci ginnaaw da ngay dem bind fa sa tur ak sa sant après ñu woole ñu ngi leen di ñaan tamit ne bu ndaje mi commencé mayuñu kenn mu ñëw jege fii nii ban bi ñu teg nii daal ñu ngi leen di sant di leen gërëm.
Buenos días y bienvenidos a la audiencia de hoy sobre inmigración en el Consejo de la Ciudad de Nueva York. Por favor, pongan en silencio sus celulares y aparatos electrónicos. Gracias. Si en cualquier momento quieren mandar su testimonio electrónicamente, lo pueden hacer al siguiente email. testimony con y arroba council council.nyc.gov. Si desean testificar hoy, por favor, lleven el papel atrás con el sargento y así lo podrán hacer. Y por favor, en ningún momento acercarse al estrado. Gracias y gracias por su cooperación.
مساء الخير، مرحبا بكم اليوم في جلسة الاستماع الخاصة بالمجلس البلدي لنيويورك بخصوص الهجرة. في هذا الوقت رجاء أن تضعوا التليفونات في الصوت الصامت، كل التليفونات الخلوية والأجهزة الإلكترونية. إذا عندكم أي شهادة بتحبوا تدلوا بيها وتقدموها، ربما ترسلوها، تقدرون ترسلوها من خلال البريد الإلكتروني testimony@council.nyc.gov. إذا بترغبوا في الشهادة، رجاء أن تملأوا الورقة الخاصة بالشاهد وتعطوها إلى الضابط في خلف الغرفة. في أي وقت خلال هذه جلسة الاستماع الرجاء أن لا تصلوا إلى المنصة. شكرا جزيلا لتعاونكم.
Bon après-midi, moi accueilli nous dans l'audience conseil sur l'immigration. Dans le moment ça, je tout le monde fait mes téléphones cellulaires nous et puis n'importe l'autre appareil électronique nous gagne. Si nous avons fait au testimony, nous remettre li dans testimony at concern nyc.gov. Dans n'importe moment, PIDA nous approcher à ce stade-là. Merci pour toute coopération.
Chair, we're ready to begin.
This meeting is being called to order. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Councilmember Alexa Viles, Chair of the Committee on Immigration. Thank you all for joining us today, and thank you to the interpreters who opened us. Today we will be examining the immensely important issue of language access, specifically assessing the mayoral administration's compliance with Local Law 30 of 2017. I'd like to begin by thanking the representatives from the administration who are here today, members of the public, and my committee colleagues we have someone on Zoom, we are joined by Councilmember Hanif on Zoom. I'd also like to flag that we have consecutive, as you have just been made aware, interpretation available to the public to listen to today's hearing in Spanish, Mandarin, Haitian Creole, Wolof, French, and Arabic. New York City is one of the most linguistically diverse cities in the world. The Endangered Language Alliance has mapped more than 700 languages spoken in this area, and a walk down any busy street in our city can attest to this linguistic richness. Languages from immigrants across the world and from indigenous tribes should be equitably supported and respected, ensuring that every resident of New York, no matter their preferred language, can access city services is crucial. And today we'll look closely at the city's language access law, Local Law 30 of 2017, that was designed to ensure just that. In 2017, Local Law 30 was enacted by the City Council and requires city agencies to provide services for all designated city languages. The law mandates that language access services must, at a minimum, include providing translation of the documents most commonly distributed to the public, provide interpretation services, and post signage about the availability of free interpretation services in all the citywide languages. Under this law, there are 10 designated citywide languages based on the US Census data and the New York City Department of Education's data. These languages include Spanish, Russian, Bengali, Haitian Creole, Korean, Arabic, Urdu, French, Polish, and Chinese. Of note, the Census Bureau includes all dialects of Chinese. Actually, I'm not sure this is all, but Mandarin, Cantonese, Taiwanese, Fujianese, and Hakka under the umbrella term of Chinese. Local Law 30 also contemplates the administration will periodically update this list based on changes to the census and the New York City Department of Education data. We look forward to learning more about how the administration is complying with the law assessments by the administration regarding this list. The law also requires agencies to consider providing services in languages beyond these designations when there is sufficient need among their service population. Local Law 30 mandates agencies to develop language access implementation plans and appoint a language access coordinator. Under the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, the Office of Language Services Coordinator is charged with providing language access assistance to agencies, and we look forward to learning more from the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs and the Mayor's Office of Operations about their responsibilities and how they are meeting them. Unfortunately, since the law has been in effect, multiple oversight hearings on or related to this law have revealed non-compliance for multiple agencies. In particular, the COVID-19 pandemic revealed the challenges with quickly sharing accessible and accurate information in languages other than English, and a hearing earlier this year on the experiences of newly arrived Black migrants highlighted the massive gaps in providing city services in language such as Haitian Creole, French, Arabic, Fulani, and Wolof. The most recent reporting from the Mayor's Office on Immigrant Affairs on Local Law 30 highlights some notable city agency successes, but reporting remains unclear, and we want further explanation regarding how the Mayor's Office on Immigrant Affairs responds to non-compliance. According to the data from this year's Language Access Secret Shopper Program, a city-run program which assesses how well New York City service centers provide services to customers in language other than English, more than half of the service centers investigated were not compliant with Local Law 30. The consequences of not offering services in someone's preferred language can be severe. And in our linguistically rich city, it would be disappointing if our language access infrastructure were not adequately supporting speakers of languages other than English. We look forward to learning more today from the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs and again, the Mayor's Office of Operations on how we can improve Local Law 30 compliance for our city's agencies to ensure that the access to city services is in fact equitable. The Committee on Immigration will hear the following legislation, Introduction 215, sponsored by Councilmember Hanif, which would require the creation of an Office of Translation and Interpretation within the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs. I look forward, I will be sharing, actually, Councilmember Hanif's testimony and look forward to hearing more about how the administration's response to the current, about the bill and the administration's response to the current structures and resources available for language access. I would like to thank all the committee staff for their work in this hearing, including Nicole Cata, Legislative Counsel, Rebecca Barilla, Policy Analyst, Florentine Cabor, Unit Head, and lastly, I would like to thank my staff, Chief of Staff Edward Cerna, and Legislative and Budget Director Christina Botego, and Legislative Fellow Amarachi Ngadi, and everyone for working in the background to make this hearing run smoothly. We have also been joined by Councilmember Salam on Zoom. Thank you, Councilmember, for being here. I will now read, on behalf of Councilmember Hanif, who could not be here for medical reasons, her opening statement about her bill. And then I'll turn it over to Council to administer the oath. Okay. I should change my voice, right, to shift it up. So this is Councilmember Hanif's statement. Good afternoon. She is Councilmember Shahana Hanif, and she regrets that she is dealing with some health issues and unable to join in person today. She thanks me, and I thank her back for holding this important hearing and reading this statement on her behalf of Intro 215. She'd also like to thank the 18 council members who have signed on to this bill, including co-prime sponsors, council members De La Rosa, Marte, Brennan, Narcisse, Brewer, Ung, and Gutierrez. As the committee report lays out, the city's insufficient language access infrastructure has caused city agencies to fail to meet the requirements for translation and interpretation set out by Local Law 30 of 2017. Due to a lack of sufficient intergovernmental resources, city agencies issue large language service contracts to out-of-state companies who produce subpar work at high costs. The consequences are serious. During the pandemic, the city was often unable to communicate time-sensitive information to our immigrant communities regarding the vaccine, safety protocols, and changing policies. Additionally, as the number of new arrivals has increased over the past 2 years, language access has been a consistent barrier to connecting folks to essential services. Intro 215 seeks to mitigate this issue by establishing an Office of Translation and Interpretation within the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs. This would consolidate the ongoing and often overlapping work of the Language Access Team, Language Services Team, and Office of Language Services Coordinator into one streamlined and strengthened entity. As this office scales up, it would directly fulfill more and more agency requests for document translation and live interpretation at events, allowing agencies to wean off of external contracts. This would increase the quality of the work, decrease wasteful spending, and create jobs for New Yorkers with language skills. The office would also play a parallel role to the State Office of Language Access, overseeing local law 30 implementation and providing guidance and support across city agencies. The office could additionally serve as the city's main support entity for the Community Interpreter Bank and the 3 worker-owned language service cooperatives for languages of limited diffusion that this council has funded and is helping to launch. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to the testimony from the administration and the public. And with that, I turn it over to committee counsel to administer the oath.
Thank you, Chair Aviles. We will now hear testimony from the administration. We'll hear from Kenneth Lowe, Lorena Lucero, Young Kwan, Daniel Steinberg, and Francisco Navarro. Before we begin, I will administer the affirmation. Panelists, please raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before this committee and to respond honestly to council member questions? Thank you. You may begin when ready.
Good afternoon. And thank you for the opportunity to speak before this committee. Thank you to Chair Aviles and the members of the Committee on Immigration for the opportunity. I do want to wish Councilmember Hanif well, and I'm sorry that she cannot be with us today. She's been a great advocate for language access. My name is Kenneth Lowe, and I currently serve as Senior Advisor on Language Access at the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, or MOIA. I'm joined here today by my colleagues Yang Kwan, who serves as Senior Manager for Language Access, and Lorena Lucero, Chief Policy Advisor at MOIA. I am also grateful to sit alongside Director Daniel Steinberg and Senior Policy Advisor Francisco Navarro from the Mayor's Office of Operations, who will be available for questions and answers. And this is going to be a shortened version of the testimony that we will submit in the interest of time, and we do look forward to the broader conversation around Local Law 30 and engaging all of the details that come with it. One last note, again, I echo a thank you to the interpreters who are helping to support today. Local Law 30 has been a remarkably valuable tool since it was enacted over 7 years ago. It's of particular importance now, as more than 300 immigrants have arrived in New York City since the spring of 2020. Our office has continued to coordinate the citywide implementation process for Local Law 30, and together the agencies have done good work on improving their language access. Our goals in this testimony or conversation are threefold. First, we would like to share how MOIA has approached language access since the bill's enactment, and specifically how it has guided the implementation of local law throughout the city. Second, we would like to both highlight our areas of progress and to share what we have learned over the course of implementation, including ongoing challenges and opportunities, including with Local Law 30 itself. Finally, we would like to speak about how MOIA looks to expand and deepen language access as a tool that can serve all New Yorkers, regardless of where they come from. As the chair mentioned, the last oversight hearing dedicated to Local Law 30 was a while ago. It was actually in 2018. In 2017, City Council passed Local Law 30 unanimously. It codified the executive order from 2008 into our city charter and administrative code and expanded the list of designated citywide languages to 10. And as the chair mentioned, this is a remarkably diverse city in terms of language. We actually have the copy of Language City right up here. It's a wonderful resource, and it also goes to highlight how not only is New York City diverse in terms of representing 10% of the languages worldwide, but also explaining how, since its very founding, New York City has been a place of great diversity, and it's in the DNA, and it's critical that New York City serves a city with the appropriate infrastructure and appropriate effort to make sure that New York City continues to be a place that serves all of its cities, all of its residents in an equitable way. When we talk about language access with city staff, we do highlight the scale and diversity, and the breadth of that diversity. Not only are 22% of New Yorkers considered to have limited English, but in terms of scale, that would be roughly the same size as the entire population of Queens or Brooklyn. And then we also say in national terms, just LEP New York would be the 4th largest city in the entire United States. We also have the largest city government in the country. And in government, communication is at the core of serving all New Yorkers effectively. But in this linguistically diverse city, language is far more than just a means of communication. It is also an integral part of people's identity and heritage. So that's what drives us at Moya. We recognize that significant barriers persist in accessing city services, and that language access must be at the forefront of our efforts, not as an afterthought. The following mantra has guided Moya in its oversight of Local Law 30 and across all of its efforts on language access. A multilingual city requires a multilingual government. As you know, Local Law 30 sets the foundational obligations of New York City agencies to build this multilingual government. The law designates the 10 citywide languages. It requires every agency, every covered agency, to designate a language access coordinator. Every agency must develop a language access implementation plan and deliver particular services, as the chair mentioned in her opening remarks. In terms of monitoring and oversight, the city charter identifies an Office of the Language Services Coordinator within the Mayor's Office of Operations that fulfills its duty in consultation with the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs. Since Local Law 30, Moya has taken the lead on language access with support from operations. And we're happy to discuss this relationship in the further conversation. Local Law 30 provides essential anchors for Moya's ongoing monitoring and oversight of language access efforts. These anchors are primarily the development of implementation plans and annual reporting, which serve as crucial touchpoints in what Moya views as a continuous cycle of improvement rather than a one-time checklist. We actively engage with covered agencies throughout the year. During the 6 months of this year, for example, Moya intensively guided agencies through the process of updating their implementation plans. That include detailed guidance and incorporating recent expansions of local law because of new legislation. We hosted 10 convenings to focus on developing specific sections of the plan, creating valuable opportunities for agency to share best practices and learn from one another. The public can now view these updated plans on each agency's website, as required by the law, as well as on Moya's website, nyc.gov/immigrants.